Alrighty guys, I'm Casey and welcome to something a little bit different. Today, I am going to share with you the day I thought I saw Slenderman. Now, like many people, I believed Slenderman to just be a product of the internet, some guy's brainchild. That was until one day when I was driving down a backcountry road and I saw something stood out on the field. And in that split moment, everything changed. So I live out in the country. There is nobody around for miles outside of my village. If you were to stand outside my house and look in any direction, you are likely going to see either forests, moors, open fields, nature parks. There are no major buildings outside of my village until you reach the towns. Now, my wife is a city girl and she works at Motor Point Arena in the city, which means every night I need to take her to work and then drive and pick her up. Normally, this isn't a problem, but when you consider the way that I need to go, it suddenly goes from being a normal daily routine to downright bone-chilling. So there are two roads to take out of my village. You can go down the first one, which is a major road. This is the road that most people will use. And heading to the city, as soon as you leave my village, you are on this road. And this road weaves and turns and curves and bends around fields, shrubbery, fences, hedges, primroses. It's all just open farmland and it stretches for about 2 or 3 miles. Now, along this road, there are no lights whatsoever. The only lights that you can see are those either lighting up the signposts or the street lights of the A road that I'm going to join to go into the city. But other than that, this road is pitch black and there are just fields either side of you. Now, being a local, I know the back roads and I know shortcuts like one knows the back of their hand. And that is exactly the road that I take when I go to pick my wife up. I don't go down this road. I choose to go down this other road because it cuts about 2 or 3 miles off of the journey, saving me about 5 or 10 minutes. For someone who believes in the paranormal, I probably shouldn't be taking the road I'm about to describe. You see, this road isn't a main road in or out of the village. It's a country road. And if you've ever driven along a country road, those things are incredibly narrow. They're about 1 berth wide the whole way. And there are crossing points, these like little mud ditches dotted along the road where you need to pull in if a car is coming the other way. You can only drive 1 car down most of these roads at one time. They are pothole heavy, and above all else, there's no signposts, there's no lights, there is no life apart from wildlife. But that's not what makes this road scary, no. It's the fact that this road runs right through a forest. There is a forest either side of you. You've got these tall, bone-like trees just either side of you. And I will tell you something. You need to put your main beam on. That's a feature in a car where you push back your stalk or pull your light stalk forward and it just lights up the entire road. You can't use this beam when you've got cars coming the other way because you will blind them. So you can only use it when you're on your own. But when you do it, it is really terrifying to do on that road. You see, previously as you're driving down this road, the woods to either side of you, these bone-like skinny trees that are just massive. They reach for ages. It's as if they're holding up heaven itself. Well, normally they are obscured. You cannot see them because it is just pitch black. But when you put those high beams on, then all of a sudden you've got this forest that you can see. And you've got these shadows. These shadows of the branches are being cast all over the place. And it is something that you will see akin to a horror movie. It is truly a stomach-churning sight to behold. So I'm driving down this road and I'm trying not to use my peripheral vision. I do not want to see out there into that wood. But I need to have my high beams on because I can't see anything on the road ahead. I need to know where the potholes are. I need to know where the crossing points are. And I don't know that if I can't see where I'm going. So I'm playing this whole drive by trying not to use my peripheral vision, and it is just not working. There's shadows and silhouettes, and birds are taking flight in the woods from the noise of the car. There's all of these creepy sounds. You can hear rustling. You've got wildlife running out into the road and scuttling along the trees. You've got squirrels climbing up the barks. And all of this is not visible at night. All you see are shadows of these things doing it. And you catch them out the corner of your eye, and you turn and you look and you see nothing. And if you weren't a local and you didn't know these woods are very wildlife heavy, you would be absolutely terrified. But that doesn't make any sense, because even as a local, I'm still driving down this road absolutely terrified to look out the window. And pro tip, when you're driving, window, you need to look out of it. So you don't want to be scared. But I managed to make it to the end of the road where it joins with the A road. This A road, still, there's no life either side of you really. There's no buildings, there's nothing. It's just open farm fields and woods. But this A road is very well lit, and it runs all the way into the city. But on this particular night, despite this being a major A road in England, there was just nobody on it. Now, I was particularly late picking my wife up this night. She had worked till about midnight. And driving down this road, normally at night I will see a few cars, maybe a dozen or so across my whole trip. But on this particular night, since leaving my home, driving down that wooded road and onto this A road, I had seen absolutely nothing apart from those shadows darting about in those woods. So I'm coming down and I'm coming up to this bend, and I can see a farmer's field to my right. And out of the corner of my eye, I see what looks like this tall, lanky shadow figure. Now, of course, I'm looking out the corner of my eye. My eyes are on the road, so I don't know exactly what it is. It just sort of looks like that. And I think to myself, this is a tree. It's just a tree. And as I turn to look at it just as I go round the bend. And so these shrubs and these bushes and these trees, they obscure my view, and I can't see the shadow figure anymore. And I think, it's just a tree. Nothing to worry about. Now, after a couple more feet, the road starts to open up again. The shrubs have passed, the trees have passed. I can see out into the field, and again, out of the corner of my eye, using my peripheral vision, I can again see this tall shadow figure. It is abnormally tall. I'm talking 60, 70 feet in the air. It is insanely tall. And immediately my stomach starts to churn. My throat goes dry. I feel like I'm going to be sick. My body is shaking. I don't know what I'm seeing, but I'm seeing a shadow figure stood there, and I dare not look. But of course, I'm curious, and I need to put this feeling to rest. And I think, just look. It's probably just your imagination. And as I turn to look, I'm just coming around another bend. And again, there's shrubbery and there's trees in my way, and I can't quite see it again, but this time I am focused on exactly where it is, and as soon as I come out of that bend, I'm going to know exactly what is standing in that field. So I come around the bend and I can see it. It is an incredibly tall, stick-like figure. It has got just a body that seems to shoot up. There are no legs coming out of the bottom of it, but at the top, there is like a T-pose. There are these arms that are just frailing around, just sort of doing a wave, T-posing the works. And it is there. It is going around in this field. And all it is to me at this point is just this tall, thin, lanky shadow. Now I'm absolutely terrified. I have no idea what I'm looking at. The only thing that I can think that this thing could be is Slenderman, and I've seen the movie, I've played the game. People who see Slenderman, it don't end well. So I'm racking my brain and I'm trying to figure out any explanation for what I'm seeing in this field. Why is there a tall, skinny shadow stood in the middle of a farmer's field in the middle of the country where there is no life? There is not another motorist on this A road. That's abnormal. What is going on? What am I seeing? And of course the road bends again, and I go round the bend, and for a moment I break contact, but the trouble where it is, I am getting closer to where that figure is. I know that field that it's in. I am going to be driving right by that field in a couple of minutes. Now, there are no turn-offs at this point on the road. The only way for me to go is to carry on. I can't do a U-turn on this A road, so I need to go forward. I've got no choice but to go forward and get to the next roundabout where I can turn around. But the trouble is I'm going to be coming back, and I would have already passed this figure by then. I was terrified. So I'm driving up, and this figure, it's not moving. It's just flailing around in this field, still stood there. It's not disappearing. My screen isn't shaking in the car. I'm not getting any visual effects. I have played the game of Slenderman. You always get visual effects with Slenderman, but I wasn't seeing any, but that might just be because I'm a gamer and I'm expecting gaming related stuff. But I'm getting closer to this freaking figure and I have no idea what it is. I'm absolutely terrified. My stomach is in knots. I just want to turn around and go home, but I can't till I reach the farm where it is. It is out there in the field and I am just about to drive past it. And the car, I'm going past it. I'm expecting the car to stall. I'm expecting it to have engine trouble. I am expecting my car to freaking break down because of Slenderman stood there looking at me in a freaking field. But as I got closer, I could not expect what was going to happen next. It was not even in the remote parts of my head that this is what I was looking at. I was convinced I was seeing Slenderman. So I get up to the farm and I'm just looking at it. And what do I see? Now that it is not in the distance anymore, it's right up close. I can tell exactly what this figure is. And it's one of them inflatable Bailey Buddy things. You know, those like things that go into a cannon and they shoot air up and it just flaps around. It was one of them. But boy, when you didn't know what it was, from a distance, it is terrifying to see. So I felt like an idiot, but I was relieved. I knew what it was now. I could go on feeling like an idiot, and I would tell this story to both my wife and my mum, and both of them would take the mickey out of me for it. But it's still a fun story, and it's an amusing moment in my life, and I thought you guys might enjoy hearing it, with today being Halloween. That's it for me, guys. Halloween is my favorite day of the year, and I'm gonna start sharing more spooky stories on that day. I think every year I'll tell you a different spooky story. Might be fun to do. But if you enjoyed the video, do me a favor, leave it a like and hit subscribe. Show it to a friend, show it to your nan, show it to your mom, whatever. Just show it to somebody. You know, screw the channel, man. Screw the channel. But yeah, that's the day I thought I saw Slenderman. Guys, I'm Casey. Thank you so much for watching. Take care now. You're the awesome folk, as always. Bye-bye.